We have Dr. Jeff Powers, general manager of Quaker Steak and Lube here. We have him fill in for us when we have the Goon Ironhead show, and Ironhead has to do a little technical work to get us hooked in, and then he'll be over here in a couple minutes. So, Doctor, how's business, buddy? How's Dr. Jeff Powers doing?
Doing well. Happy to be here. I'm the last man in the bullpen, I guess. Whenever your team's up 10 or down 10.
It's called a closer.
But, yeah, exactly. Well, hey, happy to play whatever role I can just to help the team.
Well, you got an unbelievable story you told us this weekend, and I should have brought this up to tell you before on the air, but you texted us Saturday night as a bunch of friends and said you had give me this. I thought that was amazing. I read it to my wife, and she's like, "Damn!" It is absolutely amazing. I loved your response too, though. It was just I teared up a little bit when it happened, but one of State College best, Spencer Bivens, went to Rogers College in Tennessee, and then was overseas playing baseball in France. Sorry, he was a very good baseball player, stayed high, but then came back here and played briefly in this area. That's how I got to know him. And then caught on with the Washington Wild Things Independent League. This was about 4 years ago now. Worked independent baseball for a while until someone from the San Francisco Giants organization saw him a little over 2 years ago and worked his way, put in all the hard work, everything, nothing given to him. Worked his tail off every level. Absolutely nothing given to him. The lowest level from independent ball to the lowest level of professional baseball. Gets called up Friday, and then what happened Saturday? Through AAA, was the pitcher of the month last month in Pacific Coast League AAA baseball, and got late Saturday night. Someone who was supposed to start the game for the San Francisco Giants got hurt. They called Spencer up from AAA Saturday. Had to drive from Reno, rented a car in Reno, which is where his team he was playing with was. Drove to San Francisco and made his major league debut, pitching the second, third, and fourth inning for the San Francisco Giants on Sunday afternoon. And absolutely great story. Oh, yes. And he got the win. That's the best thing. He pitched. So Jeff sends us a message that says, this brings a tear to my eye to all of our buddies up here. And he gave us like what he just said. That was a pretty brief synopsis, but he literally was playing baseball in France. I didn't know they had baseball leagues until I saw the Mets Phillies last week. And they were talking about how Europe's getting big in baseball. But the best part of what you told us was, okay, well, Jeff was the coach of the Lamont Ducks, general manager, coach, Reg Dunlop, player, coach. Yes. Reg Dunlop. Whatever was necessary. And you said you had one bullpen session with him? Yeah. And your question was, he warmed up. The hell are you doing? He pitched one inning, and I met him as he came off the field and said, I love having you. I loved watching you pitch, but what are you doing here? So it was like one of those things that you saw. What was it, late bloomer? Was it just you know what? Definitely. I'm a big believer. Yes. I mean, especially in baseball. Mm-hmm. Football is pretty locked in with where they get their players from. You're really not going to hit the Division III level for NFL type of talent. But every once in a while, some little substitute pads type of thing. A Kurt Warner situation. Baseball is absolutely enormous. Like the swath of where and how you have to play. You have all the Caribbean guys, you got the Asian guys, There's so many people scouting it on every level. And it's amazing. Yes. To have a guy fall through, but then persevere. Yes. And then he's in the Lamont Ducks, and then was he France first or Lamont? No, I was in France, and then he came and played here. And then he got the call to like an independent league. That's really cool, dude. Got to try with the Washington Wild Things, and went down and saw him down there and pitched well. I yelled at the official scorer down there when they credited a hit to Spencer that I felt should have been an error, but that's all in the past now. He's pitching in the majors, so it's a great story. Do you have contact with him? I texted with him yesterday. Is he going to get another start, do you think, or was it the injury a bad one? I'll check him later. So I'm awesome, sure his phone is exploding right now. I'm sure it is. I mean, he's got some 8 hours to France. They're ahead of us by 8 hours. So he's probably sleeping, getting text messages from his French general manager and coach. Yes, delayed responses, but I'm not sure where. Oh, they're in Chicago right now at the Cubs. So I'm sure. I don't know how long he'll be up. I was looking at, like I said, he was an injury fill-in, but he pitched well enough. His stuff's good enough. He was throwing 96. I hope he's there for a while, and we can get now as well as I do. I mean, I talk about football. When you play football and you play sports in general, it's about confidence. Mm-hmm. So imagine the boost in his confidence right now. To sit there and say, I pitched 4 innings in the major league game. I got to win 3 innings in the major league game. I got to win. Like,
I should be here.
Yes.
I have the stuff to be here.
The second batter struck out the first batter he faced. Second batter hit the ball dead center for a long way. We'll say so. First pitch he threw to his second batter got tattooed.
Went yard?
Went yard. That's baseball to something. I bet that just put him right back into place, in the zone.
It does.
Don't overthink it. Don't overthrow. Trust your pitches and let him go. And then he got out retired the next 8 guys he faced, and he pitched 3. Would have pitched the 4th, but pitched the 4th inning, pitched the top of the 5th, but the Giants scored 9 runs.
Yeah.
And he was sitting in the dugout for half an hour, so they didn't send him back out there. But probably
is that what they would have done because he had such a long layoff?
Yeah, yes, I think
because
so.
they don't know him, or
generally, if a game getting out of hand like that, and you're doing a bullpen game like it looked like they were doing, so you have a 9-run lead. Guy was sitting on the bench for 30 minutes.
They wouldn't even put him out. They wouldn't put Paul Skeens or Wheeler or Nola out there, would they?
I wouldn't think so.
Wow, that's amazing. I never even thought about that. To have a monster inning like that.
Yes. Hey, there's a downside to scoring 9 runs, I suppose.
Oh, you know what? I never even thought about it like that. I really haven't. I'm like,
he did his job.
You're right. He was sitting on the bench for a half hour. That's not good.
No.
Oh man,
that's tough to keep loose in that situation. But he did a
sure
great job, and I'm just happy for him. It's a great story. Went home late Sunday night when I got out of work and found the game online. Watched every pitch. It was just great to see.
Well, I do have to give Dr. Powers a nice little shout out here. How many BIAA teams did you work on this weekend, last weekend? I mean, between baseball, there was 12 teams in town. Lacrosse, there was 6 teams in town. Softball, another 12. I mean, that's a lot of teams be up here for one weekend.
Yes.
How many did you guys work with?
We had 2 here in the store, and then one other did a very large
carry-out
awesome order. So it was nice of Penn State to host those games and help out local businesses.
Yeah. And I had a very long day Thursday. At Bald Eagle area. Then I had my brothers, the athletic director of Holy Ghost Prep. They played the 4A game. And then my high school played the 6A game. So I had to stay for all 3. And it was fun talking. I was sitting there with Scott Walker and Witt's brother. 2 baseball dudes, man. It is fun. And then my high school baseball coach, Joe Parisi, was there. He'll be in the PIAA Hall of Fame type of thing for athletic director and baseball coaching. So he won 2 state titles. It's just funny because I got cut my freshman year from baseball. I mean, I guess I figured that, the 74-inch
a big strike zone.
torso for a strike zone is not conducive to team play. So, but Joe Parisi was talking to me, and we were just talking baseball and stuff like that. And it was just so cool because I was like, and I'm sure people feel this about me when I sit there and I watch football. And I can pick up on something and like, you would be like, what the hell are you talking about? Yes. I say, watch this right here. And you'd be like, whoa. But baseball is so full of that.
Yes.
Witt's brother Witt, by the way. Witt's brother Witt. Isn't it? That's classic. He says, Goon, I go innings and I don't watch the pitch. I just want to see where the lineup is in the outfield, where the shortstop and second baseman are, and then why. And then I'm also watching the pitchers move or the first baseman or the kid on first base. What's he looking at to not get picked off? Mm-hmm. And I was like, damn, that's a whole new way to look at the game because it's like, because my thing has always been, I'll sit with Johnny Broom. I'll sit with you too. And you guys would be like, slide her away. I'm like, why? Because the first pitch he just threw was at his up and chin music, so he's not going to be leaning in. And I was like, wow, I never really thought about that. And again, I told my baseball, Joe Parisi, and I was like, listen, baseball was easy to me when I was 9 to 12 years old because I would see the ball and I would crush it 400 yards, 400 feet, and then I never learned how to play the game. Yeah. So caught up to me in high school and all that stuff, but I do enjoy watching baseball with baseball people. So
every pitch is variables to change everything, and that's what makes the game great.
How is the lube doing, Paris? I mean,
things are going.
How hard of a time is it for you in the off season, aka students aren't here?
We've done very well so far this summer. Normally, this is obviously a slower time for most businesses in this town, but things are going well. There's a lot of development here. We got a new McDonald's coming. Apparently, we have an Arby's coming as well. So
and a Wawa.
And a Wawa. So good things happening on this side of town. And, and a great new radio station across the street as well.
This is true.
So I throw a plug in for you guys as well. So I will hand the microphone back.
I was going to get into the Tomlin situation. I wanted to know. I mean, come on, man.
We don't need profanity on the radio today. I don't want to get you guys in any trouble.
Well, what would you, honest to God, what would you have done?
No, I know. I wouldn't have given him 3 years. 3-year extension.
What is it at the minimum to give is 3 years?
He worked on 2-year extensions.
Did he?
His whole career before this one. So His
Ooh.
last one was a 1-year extension. It's the first time he didn't do
And
it.
you know,
2-year.
sure as
This year they
hey,
did
that
3.
Steelers are not going to pay 2 head coaches.
Oh, heck not.
They are not going to get rid of a guy. So you got him for 3.
4 more years.
And I'm
he's my coach for 4 more years. So hey, prove me wrong. Let's go this year.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch him this year.
well, be
Should be
interesting
fun.
to see what happens when you have a feasible offensive line in the run game,
Yes.
and hopefully your defense stays a bit healthy.
D-line
But
as well.
3 games in 10 days.
That's going to be fun.
I would love to get old people's.
Sunday, Saturday, Wednesday.
I just cannot believe that schedule.
But that's the December schedule is tough. So I'll let Ironhead
Very
do
much.
the old.
All right, let's bring the
Kirk
head
Herbstreit
back in
slide
there.
right here. Thank you for having me.
It's buffet night tonight.
Thank you.
Powers has got me back slinging some sauces back there, baby.
Oh, cannot beat the sauces.
Oh no.
That is a fact. They really do. That the wings here.
Are the best.
I mean, first of all, the wings themselves are legit wings,
Yes.
which isn't the case at all of the places
Yeah.
these days.
And I've always said this.
And then the sauces. I'm telling you that wing buffet is just so incredible on Tuesdays because the predicament I get into on the non-buffet days is it's like, well, do I want to do the Louisiana Liquors or do I want to do the Arizona Ranch or do I want to do the bourbon? Like, it's tough because it's like, man, I
You wanna
really,
try a
there's like
couple.
6 or 7 flavors and I'm like, man, I'm all in on it. And with the buffet, obviously, you can get a couple of each. The one that still surprises me that I'm as into as I am is the Parmesan, garlic Parmesan. I not surprised that I liked it, but surprised that I'm like,
Craving
that
it?
is one of my go-tos. Yes. But it really is. It is just a phenomenal
And
wing
I have
place.
said for our 5 years here, and that is that, you go to most buffet places and they have the all-you-can-eat nights and stuff like that, and that's not the same wing they're serving 600 nights a
Correct.
week. And that's the big thing that the Lube does is it's the same wings you're going to get if you order a dozen versus the all-you-can-eat night. So, so good.
Yeah.
And if there is, I don't know how many sauces here, 50 sauces, and they may only have 10 on the buffet, but you can order any ones you want and just got to tell your waitress or your waiter what you're interested in. You can try a whole bunch of them. So, I got into the honey barbecue or honey jalapeno double dusting, double rub on my chicken tenders and on my wings. So very good. It's all good, Mr. Ironhead.
Yep. A couple of things just to touch on the local front. I was trying to look up real quick here. I don't know if there's a list somewhere. There has to be of the Penn State Athletes of the Year over the years.
Oh.
If you missed it, Aaron Brooks yesterday named the Penn State Male Athlete of the Year. And Bridget Nemeth, who is coming off her true freshman season. A true freshman is the female athlete of the year for Penn State. She is an outstanding pitcher from California. Went 23-7 on the season and set a school record for most wins in a year. And was really the catalyst behind getting Penn State to its first NCAA tournament appearance in 13 years. Just kind of changed the entire dynamic of the program just with her presence. She was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. She is a freshman All-American on multiple teams. And again, just a phenomenal first year, obviously. But what I wanted to do, and I just realized I forgot, I was meant to do this earlier in the afternoon, and then I got caught up doing other stuff, and I just now remembered. I wanted to look that up. But it cannot be often that a freshman has won Penn State Athlete of the Year. I'm wondering if it's ever happened before. And then I'm trying to look up on the men's side, wrestling has kind of dominated, not surprisingly, given the success of the program over the last decade plus. But just trying to find some of the information there. Well, I'm going to have to keep looking at it.
I'm thinking about it. I think so. Kerry McCoy probably won it my senior year. We go back that far with the wrestlers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It would be an interesting list to see who's actually won it. But my question is, any schools actually have a freshman as that's pretty impressive.
When you think about the, obviously, multi-sports competition, a lot of different sports, and yes, freshmen have come in and had an impact for sure in a bunch of sports over the years, but to be the freshman of the year, when you think of, again, all of the sports, all of the accomplishments, and listen, even, there's always, these things are never cut and dried. Like you don't sit there and, I don't think ever can you just sit there and say, well, that guy or that girl clearly, man, they're just heads and shoulders above anybody else on campus. Now, there are years where most of us might agree, yep, that's the person. But even, and Aaron Brooks obviously is a great choice, but
what goes into it, Jeffrey? Is there academics that go into it, lead off the field stuff, or is it strictly?
This is athlete of the year.
Just pure athlete.
Yes, I think this is just athlete of the year.
So
somebody knows better, and you want correct me.
I'm all the equation, obviously.
Yeah,
Jeff,
I don't think that's the case.
When voting went out.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if they have. Well, if they have it, they're not making it easy to find. Anyways, Aaron Brooks, obviously, a great choice on the men's side. He was undefeated, won the national title, his fourth national title, this one at 197. Did not allow a takedown the entire season. And Hodge Trophy winner given to the outstanding wrestler in the country, and obviously getting ready for the Olympic Games in Paris as the U.S. representative at 86 kilos in the men's freestyle circuit. So,
he never got taken down, right?
Not this season.
Okay. So how could he have given up any points?
Well, escapes, reversals.
He
can, give up points a bunch of different ways. Back point. He didn't give up back points, but
has the non-takedown thing happened before? Often, once in a while.
Not often, but it has happened. Yeah, Carter Starachi was on track to do the same thing this year, and if not for the injury, you can't say definitively that he would have done it, but I think certainly had a very good chance to do that as well. Rumors swirling around the Berg today. Oh, man, they are getting the word out down there already. We've been trying to keep this hush-hush. That media mogul Jeff Byers may buy the Pittsburgh Pirates. Can Mr. Byers confirm or deny? I cannot confirm or deny at this particular point.
Big money, Ironhead.
Well, yes. Now, the negotiations have begun. The question is going to come down to, is the current Pirates ownership willing to give this up for, 4 figures? And if they are, it's looking very promising.
Between you and I, we're multi-thousandaires.
At the moment, there seems to be some resistance on the part of current Pirates ownership. Now, that could change as the bargain hunting continues. But if I can get them talked down to 4 digits, it is a possibility at least. At the moment, not looking real promising, but that's about all I can say about it at this time.
What is the Pirates' value, to be honest with you? What do you think it is?
Well, the actual value,
if they were to sell the team,
value, that's a good question. I mean, honestly, that's actually it is truly a good question, because the question would be there's a value just inherent in being a Major League Baseball franchise. But if you look at the potential, right, for significant revenue increases for the Pirates, I would say that's pretty substantial. Now, I see your, did you look up something here? What are they saying?
As of May 24,
Yeah.
the Pittsburgh Pirates Major League Baseball team is estimated to be worth $1.32 billion.
Yeah.
Which is the same value as the previous 2 years, so you've not gone up in value. This value is still below the average franchise value, which was $2.32 billion. The average was 2.3. The Pirates are also far behind the New York Yankees, who are valued at $7.1 billion. I mean, that is,
Yeah.
I mean, is there like a pin cushion, like the air's
So
coming out of
that's
it?
like that's more than four figures. Is what that sounds like. I've never been real good with math,
8
but
to 12.
yeah, that doesn't seem like
Well,
the
it's a very minority
negotiations
stake.
are going to go real far here.
If you get into the four digits, you get a good minority stake in there. A very, very minority, like 0.00000.
I'm used to minority stakes. That's
all good.
in our little radio venture. I have a very minority stake. So
there you go. So I have the Eagles. Jeffrey Lurie is putting the Eagles up a portion as a minority, non-voting member of the organization. So they're talking about, like who's going to come in type of thing. And you're not going to have any power over anything, any control of anything. You're just paying money to be considered an NFL owner. It's
a cool status.
Right? It's a little weird to ask something like that.
Talk them down to $6.8 billion. I'm getting support for my attempt to
there you
bid.
go.
You guys can go in with me. Maybe we can get it up to 5 figures offered. We get enough people going in, maybe.
And State College West owns 1%. That 1% of a $1.32 billion. That's damn nice, though.
Yeah, not bad.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Bad.
That's a lot of money, man, for an organization who hasn't done, anything. I wonder who is worse financially. You figure Detroit, the A's, the Angels are always pretty bad, but they threw out some money recently. Interesting, buddy.
Yep. Trying to find the. Well, no, I can't even find the story. Well, I'll keep checking around.
7.5 is the Yankees. Jeez Louise. Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox, Cubs, Giants, Mets, Phillies, Braves. LA Angels are $2.7 billion. I wouldn't have thought that. I thought that they would be, I guess the owner is worth a lot of money, but oh my goodness. Oh, you're not even in the top 5 worst, Ted.
No?
Nope. Miami Marlins, $1 billion. Oakland A's, $1.2 billion. Royals, $1.225. Tampa Bay, $1.225. Cincinnati Reds, $1.255. Pittsburgh Pirates, $1.35. Man, that's billions, man. That's billions. Now, what do you think they take into that, Jeffrey? Just the value of. I'm just having a hard time wrapping my head around this.
I can see that.
There's no one goes to Miami Marlins games, and they haven't. Oh my Lord! I guess you own the stadium. You got 81 games at home. I guess that you're selling stuff, your sponsorship. Man, that's crazy. And then the Marlins don't even own their stadium, right? But they do own their stadium because they conned the people of Miami into it. That's the other crazy thing. So, do the Pirates own the stadium?
I believe
they have that kind of value. They have to. Oh man, Lord, that's surprising that the smallest baseball team, because I would compare it to football, and I think that the Cowboys are like $4 billion. But again, I may be wrong, buddy.
Yeah. Tell you what, we're going to take a timeout here, and we will continue. It is our Tuesday edition of the
I take everything back I just said.
Goon and Ironhead show. Yeah.
The Cowboys are worth $9 billion.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. I literally thought that they were the tops at like $4 billion, to be honest with you. I mean, I need to lay off the peyote, my Lord duty. Wow. All right. Good talk. Good talks.
Yeah.
Great sports weekend past weekend, man. Got a lot to talk about.
Going to take a lot of work here for us to become owners of any of these franchises, even small minority.
I mean,
owners.
Lamont Ducks. We can talk. We've got multiple Lamont Duck calls out today. We can do it. I own a minor league baseball team. Like
could become a minority owner of a county league team.
I'll have my suite in the county league team. Like, what's up? I'm the owner's suite. What's up?
That's
Red
it.
carpets, all that stuff. Doctor, I love it.
Dreaming big.
Yeah, baby.
We are coming right back with more of our Tuesday edition after this. You're listening to Sports Radio 98.7 The Fall.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
The State College Spikes are back home June 18th and 19th. The Spikes take on the Williamsport Crosscutters, and you can enjoy the return of Walking Taco Tuesday. Get half-price walking tacos at the new salsa stand next to the Kids Zone. Then it's Glizzy and Wine Wednesday, presented by Seven Mountains Wine Cellars, with half-price country store brand hot dogs all game long and half-price wine from 5:30 to 7:30. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen O'Habaker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen O'Habaker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen O'Habaker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
We welcome back in here on this Tuesday afternoon. Terrific start once again for Mr. Skeens last night, and the Pirates win it 4-1 over Cincinnati. Skeens now 4-0 for the beloved Buccos, and
should be 5.
Yeah, he is fun to watch. Got the pickoff move last night, and again, just wonderful combination of athleticism, size, personality, and obviously a remarkable pitching repertoire. And I think that's one of the things that you're seeing him just kind of continue to develop. And, Derek Shelton was talking about it a little bit after the game last night. Like, he has even more in the arsenal. It's like, let's work on these things, and then we'll kind of expose this, show that. And I just think he is one of those guys that is going to live up to the hype and then some. Obviously the hitters are going to make adjustments on him as he moves through, but it just feels like he's also going to continue to make adjustments. And again, he's just a guy that is almost just built for this right now. And I think, again, the future with Skeens looks very bright. And for whatever time we'll have him in Pittsburgh, we will certainly take it and enjoy it. And then we'll have to kind of root for him, I guess, when he goes to the Yankees or the Dodgers, whichever one he finishes up his career with.
I mean, he keeps the same tax bracket in Pennsylvania tax brackets.
Yeah. Unlikely, but possible.
No, but I do know this.
Yeah.
We were planning on going down to Pittsburgh for the Philadelphia series. Then I'm told it's the first game after this All-Star game. So I'm sitting there thinking, wow, Aaron Nola or Wheeler are going to have to face Skeens. Or Skeens is going to face one of those two Friday or Saturday. And that's going to be a hell of a ticket down there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So I've thought against getting tickets now because I'm sure that they are through the roof right now for costs. So I think that's going to be a watch at home type of weekend there, watching those games. So, but I've told you before, I really enjoy watching him pitch. I feel as if he's not the Kerry Wood like big power pitcher. I think that his body is built where he doesn't seem to be really like super like grunting, exerting himself, and the ball is still going 103 miles an hour.
Yes.
And then the different arm angles where he's not just a pure power guy. That's what Kerry Wood was in Strasburg with the Nationals. And you could tell those guys were going to go away real quick. They were going to flame out because you can't do it. Skeens is the real freaking deal, man. And I've been watching him since he was at LSU.
Yeah.
We're watching the Curls World Series. I'm like, oh, Skeens, that guy's pitching Skeens. Of course, he was Libby Dunn's boyfriend at that point, but we're still there probably right now with a lot of people.
Yeah.
But, no, he's fun to watch. And the Buccos are fun to watch. I mean, it's nice being able to go home and watch a game and stuff like that. The Phillies aren't on, and you know, Buccos are competitive at least, you know?
Yeah.
And they're winning some freaking games. I'm worried about, I'm getting my updates from Alan about the, his Pirate bet with me and stuff like that. I mean,
they are in the right division as well to give themselves a chance. There's no doubt about that. And I do think it is going to be interesting to see if they can, let's say at the break be 5 games-ish off of the lead and in second or third and relatively in the hunt. It is going to be interesting to see whether they at least tip their toe. Again, they're not going to go get a big name, big money, guy that's going to change the entire complexion.
Absolutely.
Of the race, but might they actually go out and, you know what, we're going to try to get one more legitimate big bat in here and at least try to make a run toward the postseason. And that obviously is, as a Pirates fan, what you would hope for.
Was I being told the truth that the Pirates are sort of selective on his pitch dates because they want him to be pitching at home?
Yeah, I don't think
they sell a lot of tickets then.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly, yes. I don't think that's. So
that is true.
No,
okay.
I mean, I don't know that that's necessarily the case. I mean, he's obviously been has thrown on the road as well. So, but yeah, I mean, if you can get him at home, you certainly want to do that and take advantage of the gate opportunity that
you missed them by a game, right?
Brings.
You tried to time it up. Okay.
Well, it wasn't necessarily we tried to time. It just looked like it was going to time out, right? And yes, we missed it by a day. He made his debut. We went down on a Friday night and he made his debut the following day on a Saturday. But
I got to ask, anybody out there has been to a game, I want to hear what's the pop from the catcher's glove when he's pitching. Even at a Major League Baseball, if you can hear that pop at a major MLB game, that's pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
Oof.
Well, but
you can hear it on TV a little bit. I want to hear if you can hear it live.
Well, and when you go from him to Aroldis Chapman, I mean, it's it is a pretty nice combination to throw out there. If you,
but what's the difference in Chapman and Skeens? Well, Skeens throws the same amount of fastballs, but there's movement to it. It tails, or it works its way in or out.
Yeah, it's also
Chapman is also just straight gas. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah,
but there's no movement to it. And these guys can hit 100. Oh, wow! Now, speaking of that, we have not talked since last week. And our beloved alumnus, Micah Parsons. Did you hear what he said last week?
Yep.
That he could hit if he played in 162 baseball games a year, that he would average over 200 an average. And I laughed. And then I sent it to all my friends that are baseball players, and they all completely laughed. And they said, is there absolutely no way in Hades that could happen?
So here's the thing. If he's saying that just like right now that he would just go into the majors and do that, no. If you gave him a year and he was working on baseball and had the right coaches, like there's no question he is athletic. And I think, again, if that's what he was dialed in on and training, could work his way toward. I don't know about in a year, but I mean, over the course of a couple of years, might be able to get himself there. It's just such a different game. And it's not also a completely different game as wrestling. And it was interesting when Micah did that video with the wrestlers. He's like, well, this is a different kind of in shape.
I agree.
And it is, but you need to be a different kind of in shape for wrestling.
True.
Right? Like we were watching the Lesser Lumber Football Classic, which, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook here and you're not from the Central Pennsylvania area, Lesser Lumber Football Classic is a Central Pennsylvania all-star game. So kind of schools within an hour and a half, roughly, of State College in any direction.
Center County or Central PA?
Central PA. Okay. So they have schools.
Oh, yeah. What the hell am I thinking? I'm like, that's Clearfield are not from Center County.
Correct. Yeah, it's mostly of the schools are not Center County schools. So this year, and they moved the event around. It's a all-star football game involving graduated seniors, many of whom will be going on to play collegiately. Actually, there were a bunch of athletes that played in the game over the weekend here that are going to compete in college and other sports. And then some, obviously, this is the final opportunity to compete in a varsity sports event. Like a lot of these guys are going to go on to college and I played
in the Montgomery County All-Star game. There's
they
guys
do
IM
and that sort of stuff. Yeah, but they're not going to compete, on a varsity level at the collegiate level. So, fun game. There were 19 penalties in this year's game. There's a lot of things that, not unexpectedly, when you don't have that kind of time. But we were talking up in the press box. You could see some of the guys getting a little winded as the game went on. It's like, they're not in football shape. And it just got, another conversation going on what different sports require. And great athletes are great athletes. And like there were some Bald Eagle area's senior class up here just down the road from State College. Their senior class of athletes was phenomenal. Bald Eagle area is a smaller school, AA school. There were 6 divisions in like football and baseball. Bald Eagle area is a 2A school here in PA, but had a phenomenal football season. Baseball team won back-to-back state titles. Basketball team was very good. Wrestling has consistently been good
lost the semifinal.
over the years. Yeah. But the senior boys at Bald Eagle area have just had an unbelievable career and run and have put up spectacular numbers across the board. And a couple of them are looking to play a couple of sports at the collegiate level at D2 or D3 schools. And that is very challenging. But as you move along, again, I think a great athlete the skills can translate to just about anything, but it is such a different game that you need that preparation component to be able to compete at a high level, like D1, and certainly if you're going on to the professional level. And it's why you see a lot of guys, especially in some of the individual sports, you start to kind of dial in and focus on a particular sport year-round as you get to high school because, again, you're trying to hone that skill and be in shape for that sport. Or, again, baseball, it's such a unique skill set in terms of hitting pitches and the way the pitchers develop, and you go from, little league right through high school. I mean, high school pitching is completely different, obviously, than what you're getting in, even middle school. And then you get to the college level. That's a whole different game. And then each level of minor league baseball up to the major leagues. But to get to the major leagues, I mean, again, what you're trying to hit those pitches, any of them, fastball, curveball, I mean, trying to catch up with the fastball, trying to keep your eye on the curveball and follow the ball or the sinker, all of that, it's just it's something where the repetition is crucial, and obviously you have to have eye-hand coordination and continue to develop that. And that's just on the batting end. Then you throw in all of the different components with the fielding, the base running, and everything else. But each sport, again, it's just a different skill set so that somebody – and to go to Micah Parsons, again, I think if Micah spent a couple of years honing in on just wrestling, I think he probably could be a good wrestler. The funny thing, he did this video with several Penn State wrestlers. This was hilarious. 3 years ago. And Micah obviously was in shape, football shape, and again, is a phenomenal athlete. But the wrestlers, it's just a different grinding. We talk about the grind in different sports. Hockey right now with the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like, that is a grind. To get through 4 postseason series in hockey, I mean, it just takes a mental and physical toll on an individual. Wrestling is a grind, I think, unlike any other because of the physical nature of the sport. And again, there's so many components that come into it. Yeah, you have to have strength, but strength alone isn't going to win you a wrestling match. Yeah, you have to have endurance, but endurance alone isn't going to win you a wrestling match.
A whole
you have to have
endurance
a skill
is a whole
set.
different strength.
Yeah, and it's so, and same thing. Again, baseball, it's just it's a unique skill set that you just have to hone day after day.
No, I loved when Micah did that with the wrestlers because it really, really proved how grueling wrestling is. But if they went and did a football workout, and I'm not knocking these guys at all because what they do is freaking insane, but you're up to 45 minutes to an hour, and then your muscles need to have that. I mean, you're on a mat 10 minutes tops. And I'm not knocking them at all. I mean, I hope I'm not. But I mean, you got to be on a football field for 3 hours. I mean, you got to have in the long haul, and you're sprinting and this and that sometimes, and then there's downtime. And what football is all about is lessening your recovery time. So I get there is a whole different football shape versus wrestling shape, and there's whole different muscles that are being used. Before I forget, any Bald Eagle area guys play in the Lesser Lumber Classic?
Oh, yeah.
That played baseball?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. Because
Yeah.
our guys were doing that too.
4 or 5 of them.
So they were playing baseball in states running up to the state final, and I guarantee you they were practicing for the Lesser Lumber basketball classic. Because I know that Fitz and Butler are both baseball players, and my county all-star game that we all played, and they were going for a Catholic League title, and then at night we're going to play football. I mean, that's the definition of an athlete right there.
Yeah,
being able to switch around like that. But my opinion on Micah, you're right. Give him 5 years. Okay, the best I heard was from MLB baseball players, former guys who played in the MLB. You know who I'm talking about. He said, I'm 60. He wouldn't get a hit off me in 4 innings, 4 at-bats, guaranteed. And I was like, okay, I got you. I understand that. I don't think Mike could hit 200 if at a batting cage and there was a 100-mile-an-hour fastball coming at him with no movement. You can catch up to that. But the way baseball mind thinks and how they manipulate and the ball moves and stuff like that, that is the hardest thing to do. And that was I don't care how athletic you are. Michael Jordan was the example that was given. There was the great athlete of our time who tried to go baseball, but there are people who said, "Oh, he would have made it on his own had he not been Michael Jordan." What do you think? He just looked very awkward out there.
Doubtful.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So
Very.
That's the word I heard. Ask Michael Jordan how hard how baseball is. But I love Mookie Betts. Mookie pretty much told Mike, "You got to stay in your lane, bro." That's the bottom line. Is just there's a lot of crossover athletes and stuff like that. But I mean, I personally think the hardest thing to do in sports is hit a home run in a Major League Baseball game. That's me. Now, somebody threw some stuff at me, hit a drive on 18, up a stroke, or tied at the Masters or the U.S. Open. And I was like, wow, that's a pretty good one. But I think that baseball would be, I guess if somebody said you could get lucky and hit a home run in baseball, and I was like, pretty lucky.
You'd have to be very lucky.
Very lucky, very strong.
That's pretty.
I mean, it's impressive baseball. It's an impressive game. As is football, as is wrestling. They all have their own, wow, I can't believe how hard that is. But Micah, I mean, it's funny he does say that because he did the wrestling thing, and wrestlers like, oh, you couldn't handle us. But I also say in his defense that there are some football stuff that they probably couldn't do because of the length of the games and that type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, skill set wise, I think they'd struggle. I don't think in terms of catching their breath or being able to,
I mean, they're catching their breath a lot quicker than football players.
Yeah, going all
but
out.
I'm saying if they're doing it for 45 minutes, you're not wrestling now. I guess they might be on practice, but top competitive. I'm talking myself in and out of it because I'm like, well, you know what? There is 30 seconds between each play. There is 10 minutes between each series. So it's big. It's okay. Could a guy work out with wrestlers be in football shape by the time the football camp started?
Yeah, they'd already be in football shape. Yeah, the wrestling shape will, in terms of conditioning, will translate to
anything.
Yeah, you're ready for.
I would say the biggest psychos were the hockey players. How they go out after the game, they all go to the room and they all get their hour in of their conditioning. I'm always like, wow, weird, right?
Yeah, again, there's such a different. There's different components to each sport that make it challenging in very different ways.
But long story short, is it a laughable answer you give to Micah Parsons, in your opinion? Baseball 200.
I don't think he's understanding. Yes, I guess at the end of the day, I don't think he's understanding how different Major League. And I mean, I'm saying it like I do. I I feel like I have. I mean, I've obviously never faced major league pitching. I've never faced minor league pitching. So, but
if we went to a
I
batting
just
cage,
think there is such a difference with major league pitching. And I mean, and you see it, right? Like there are guys that pound the cover off the ball all throughout high school, college, minor league baseball, and then they get to the major leagues. And it's like, oh man, this is a big adjustment. And some work their way through it, and some just don't. It's like, yeah, I can't figure this out. It's a whole different world. So yeah, I don't think he's appreciating how good major league pitchers are, and how different facing major league pitching is versus whatever. And he wouldn't have faced pitching at least since high school, right? Like he didn't.
I'm saying, could he hit 200 in the Big Ten? Baseball is a very tough game, man. Very, very tough game. And I just think, and I don't know what the videos he's been doing. Did you see where he's been traveling the world doing different sporting events?
Yep.
I saw him wrestle a sumo wrestler. Mike is a big boy.
Yeah.
And a very strong boy and a very powerful man. He didn't move that sumo guy. Yeah, it's a whole different skill set. It's a whole different mindset. Everything about it.
Sumo shape is a whole different
it's a whole
shape.
Different shape. Literally and figuratively.
A whole different
shape. It is a whole different shape. Yeah, but that was funny. He got in there, and the guy was laughing at it because he's like, it's all about the leverage and the hand placement. But you watch sumo wrestling, it's offensive line play.
Sumo wrestling.
It is amazing.
I have not seen it in many years now that you say that. It is, there was a while there where it was just, for me, mesmerizing. It's like, what?
Like back when we were kids and the Wild World of Sports was on. It was like, sumo wrestling.
It's like, this is so wild. And you see the way these guys train and and you know, again, it goes, every sport has its own culture, the things that you have to do to prepare for it. And yeah, sumo is definitely a world unto itself.
It is, man.
I'm trying to think the last time I actually saw, because yeah, with Wide World of Sports, I mean, you'd see it at least, you know, every year. And I honestly don't remember. It's got to be over a decade,
sure,
at least, since I've seen.
I mean, the 80s were only a decade ago, right?
Feels like it. Should be the case. Yeah, that's
what Kirkendall said a couple weeks ago on Facebook. He goes, in 6 years, the 80s will be 50 years ago.
I know.
I instantly defriended him.
Yep. Yeah, it's not.
I said, beat it.
How did the Letterman's weekend go there? Man?
Yeah, we had a great time. Friday night, we went out to the Northland Bowl. We were bowling for HFL charities up here. Center County Youth Services, I believe, was one of the people getting benefits, and then the Carly Short Foundation. They split all the money raised, went to, and then I think that the O.J. McDuffie Catch Foundation got a little piece of it too. So, just great. I mean, I had 8 people that were not football players with me. I know that Timberland Federal Credit Union sponsored a A4. So Rich Whitmer, who was having a benefit this weekend, where he's having some cancer issues right now. Timberland Federal Credit Union paid for him and his wife and his kid to be involved. So he was out there playing with a couple Lettermen. Spice Adams was there. Right. Spice's son. Rich's son's new favorite player is Mike Maudie. I said, hell, you like him now? You would have loved him when he was playing, dude.
How about
So great guys, a lot of guys in town. So Friday night, great time at the Northland Bowl, good dinner, all this stuff, seeing guys. Pat Kraft was there. Some of the staff weren't really there, our staff now, because they had 24 official visits this past weekend.
Yeah.
And they had a 7-on-7 camp, and weather didn't help them out a little bit on Friday and Saturday with some rain. So they were in and out with, like, James was Saturday night. We came out. We had a party down at the Champs downtown. And some of the coaches came out then and there. We had a real good time talking to them, good time catching up. A lot of my friends, and they bring their families up. Some bring their kids up, and they do the kid thing over there. But a lot of guys just come up alone or with their wife, and like some of my guys, older guys that I, played with. It's like their kids are old enough now that they can get away. That they'll just come up and it's like they're like boys weekend away. They'll go bowl. They'll went bowling Friday night, golfing on Saturday, big barbecue after then a party Saturday night, and then I had my brother come into town. So I had people in Wednesday for baseball for the PIAA.
Yep.
And I had people in Friday because my high school played the PIAA lacrosse title game too. And then my brother came in Sunday with his wife and his daughter, who was going to be a freshman here. She starts next Monday.
Is that right?
There's another Conlin on campus, man.
Love it.
Yeah, buddy.
Love it. Love it.
It's just funny. The gaze in her eye, like, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. And she gets here and she's like, holy God, this place is pretty big. And you're like, we'll drive around here.
Yeah.
And my brother and sister-in-law, we were laughing. Like, we walked everywhere. You walked everywhere when you were in college.
We did.
And now it's like, dude, we used to walk this? Like, whoa. Like,
yeah.
You used to walk from Pollock Commons to all the fraternities? It's like a mile and a half. My God. How'd you get home?
We were in college student shape.
Exactly. We were definitely in college student shape. And there's McDonald's halfway home, so it's perfect.
These days. Yes. Yeah, Penn State football Letterman's weekend was this past weekend, and
what you guys get into?
A lot of them back in town. We had a busy little weekend of our own. I had family in. My brother-in-law and his wife and one of my nephews came in on Saturday. So we actually
from Ohio.
Yep. Before that, we went out. Marissa, the Mad Turtle, and I went out to Whipple Dam and just did a little canoe trip around the dam. We had it was a very nice morning. Did a lot of turtle hunting, meaning looking for turtles, not trying to pick them off or anything.
Three of you in this canoe, or has the Mad Turtle got its own yet?
No, wait, just the three of us
nice.
in one canoe. It was a nice time. And then spent Saturday afternoon with the family. And then Sunday, we ended up, we went to the pitch, hit, and run event at the Medler Field at Lebrano Park that the Spikes put on in conjunction with Major League Baseball. And then it was kind of funny. We went over and watched, had kind of a late lunch, early dinner type thing, and TV was on. We were eating outside Sunday afternoon around 3, and actually watching Florida State now, but Florida State was playing Virginia in the College World Series. And we being the Mad Turtle, got engrossed in the game. And it was fun watching.
I've heard the World Series has been great this year.
Yeah, I mean, that game wasn't I think 6-0, I think maybe was the final. Florida State pulled away, and but it was fun watching him pick up on different things with the game and stuff. So, we had a good weekend. Went to my wife's foundation, actually rented out the one movie theater here last night, and we watched Inside Out 2. If you're newer to the program, my wife runs Jana Marie Foundation, which God rest her soul. She passed away on this date, and 13 years ago now, and so they rented out the theater. Inside Out 2, if you're not familiar, is an animated movie, and it deals with emotions, and it's kind of the mind of a young teenage girl, and she's playing hockey, and anxiety, a lot of funny moments in it, but really good movie, really good turnout last night. So kind of felt like the weekend got extended a little bit as a result, and we had a lot of the Mad Turtles friends showed up, and so it was a good experience. Really good movie if you're looking for a family-friendly movie this summer. There's some funny moments, and I'm not going to bore you with all of the details, but one of the funnier things, so again, the movie, if you're not familiar with the Inside Out or Inside Out 2, there's the emotions are kind of controlling the brain is the idea behind it. So you get to know anger, you get to know envy, you get to know joy is kind of trying to run the whole shit type of thing. So at the one point in the movie, my favorite part of it is the young girl has been at hockey camp for a week, comes home at the dinner table, and the mom's like, so how was hockey camp? And the girl, and it's funny because inside in her mind, it's like, oh, we should share this and that and that. And then they go to the table, and she's like, it was good. And then it takes it to the mom's mind for a moment, and the mom's brain is like, it was good? We spent all of that money for a week. You did all of these activities, and we get it was good? How? And, it goes on a little bit. This is an outrage type of thing, and on and on. And it goes to the father's brain, and the father's like, good? It was good? After all that money we spent, that's what we get? Well, yeah, that sounds about right. I wonder what the score of that game is.
Yeah, what the heck? What's for dinner here?
And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much it. So would encourage if you get the opportunity to go and check out that movie, though. It is it's a good one. We'll take a break here. You are listening to WFXS, Pleasant Gap State College, also known as Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox, and we're coming right back with more of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on a Tuesday afternoon. After that,
coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
The State College Spikes are back home June 18th and 19th. The Spikes take on the Williamsport Crosscutters, and you can enjoy the return of Walking Taco Tuesday. Get half-price walking tacos at the new salsa stand next to the Kids Zone. Then it's Glizzy and Wine Wednesday, presented by Seven Mountains Wine Cellars, with half-price country store brand hot dogs all game long and half-price wine from 5:30 to 7:30. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen Baker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen Baker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen Baker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
And we welcome you back in here on this Tuesday afternoon. U.S. Open over the weekend, dear Goon, and
amazing.
Great drama. We were tied up with some other activities, so I didn't see it live. I'm kind of following it as it was going on, and then came home and got caught up a little bit on it.
Just in general, the fact that it's Father's Day weekend is my favorite.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you and your dad played golf or anything like that. Is that one of the things you guys have together?
We did not.
Yeah. So me or my dad never did, but it was always fun watching that.
Yeah.
Because it was something to watch with your father on Father's Day.
Yep.
And so I watched a lot of it.
Yep.
If not the whole weekend. So I have warmed up to Bryson DeChambeau recently.
I think a lot of people have. And it's a credit to him. I think has grown, right?
I didn't like Payne Stewart when I was a younger person because I thought Payne Stewart was a pompous jerk because his hat, the way he played.
I love Payne Stewart.
But then as time wore on, you realize that this dude is actually a really good person and a good
really
dude.
Good.
And I loved the fact that Payne Stewart he wore the NFL colors of the local team because he was sponsored by NFL properties.
Yep.
Absolutely loved that. I loved his hat. I loved the knickers, all of that stuff. And I think that when DeChambeau came in, I had always thought, you know what? He's trying to steal that look. And I wasn't a fan of that because he wore the hat. He would wear the knickers sometimes. And I thought he was just like a rich, like little country club boy type of guy. And I think he has grown. Like you just said, in the last five or so years, he has very much grown as a human being, as a man, as an athlete. Lost his dad a few years ago where he actually did say it sort of grounded me and stuff like that. Where to the point where I don't care that he's an LIV guy. And there's people who are like, oh, I can't believe he did it. But you can't fault a man for making money for his family. I'm sorry. It's just who I am, how I am.
Yeah, I understand why it rubs people the wrong way. I'm kind of with you. Now, I'm not obviously directly affiliated in any way. It truly didn't affect my life in any appreciable way. So that, but I get why.
What affected me in the end, and we'll go back to the actual tournament, is how Rory acted after the tournament. And I could not believe that was a petulant little child. And I completely turned off by it. But I was actually rooting for DeChambeau for a while now. I mean, it is what it is. He's an LIV guy. It is what it is. He was interviewed, I believe it was Thursday, and he was talking about Payne Stewart. And I didn't realize, but that was Pinehurst number 2, 25 years to the day.
Yep.
To the weekend of Payne Stewart winning his U.S. Open and that last shot type of thing. And I'm looking at him. I'm looking at Payne Stewart, and I'm looking at who he was playing that day. And that was Phil Mickelson. And people have a love-hate relationship with that cat, too.
No doubt.
The three of them sort of ran in a little bit of a circle. But I went completely all in. And, again, my younger brother was up here. His daughter was at orientation. So me and Puppy sat and watched the U.S. Open all afternoon, had a few beers, had some food, and this and that. But I don't know. You saw the highlights of it, and everybody's seen the highlight of it. But during that match, he hits a putt or miss. I don't know what he was walking to a green, and there's a kid in a very heavily handicapped in a wheelchair, nonverbal, wheelchair bound. He didn't have use of anything. He had his arms like this. No one stops and talks to that kid during competition, and that kid would never expect anybody to stop. DeChambeau stops everything he does, walks over to the kid, grabs the kid's arm, gives a high five. The joy on his face is like ridiculous. I mean, I literally got a freaking tear in my eye right now. I got to get worried about my testosterone, Ironhead. Jesus Christmas. So he takes the pen out of his back pocket and signs the kid's hat, puts it on, and that kid's life was made. It was made. And I'm sitting there going, dude, I'm all in. I am all in on this cat right now. And it wasn't fake. It wasn't fake and contrived and stuff like that. And I read an article this morning, and they were talking about, you really see a human being when the lights are off. There's nobody more to impress to do this or do that. DeChambeau won the award, did the ceremony, did the interview afterwards. We're talking 2-3 hours. He goes outside with the trophy and does laps with the crowd. And everybody gets to touch the trophy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that's how you do. That's how you become a man of the people type of thing.
No doubt.
And I'm all in on that cat. I really am. And the way he played was just lights out. You know, he came back. Rory really just, I'm going to say, pooped the bed pretty good with how he did. But how he acted after the match. And, you know, again, there is a lot of animosity between the PGA guys and the LIV guys, but for him not to stay around and give the guy who beat you a handshake and a congratulations for winning the U.S. Open, it just came off as very, very, very petulant.
I don't disagree.
Now Rory's got a ton going on in his life with his divorce thing type of thing. He choked,
and I do think so. There are several thoughts that I had as while kind of getting caught up on it Sunday night and seeing everything that had happened. And one of them is how important, and I mean, we've talked about this a lot over the years, but how important mindset is for really anybody, not just athletes, anybody in a clutch pressure situation. And I'll be the first to tell you, I am not great at it. I'm not. I'm working on it. I'd like to be better, but like I get panicky when like there's like not even life and death, but like when somebody close to me is hurt, like I am not good. There are people, I have friends that are like, okay, just calm down. You got to, and that's what you should be doing, right? Like you're calming them down. It's like, oh my God, like somebody help us. Like, I'm not great. I'm not great in those situations. The people that are able to kind of just almost pull yourself out of the moment and just honestly assess the situation. That shot out of the bunker on the 18th
with the pressure,
is like truly unbelievable. But I think one of the things that I watched DeChambeau's interview after the round on Saturday, after the third round, and he was so at peace with things. And again, I get that he did not play a great round overall on Sunday. I get it. So, you know, you can argue it. Ironhead, he did tighten up. My gosh, he was over par. I'm just telling you, I think he was at peace. And I don't want to speak for him, but like I don't think this would have been the end of the world had he lost. He wanted to win, obviously. It meant a ton to him. You saw that when that putt goes in. I mean, that is not the reaction of somebody that's like, oh, win or lose, I'm okay. So I'm not trying to overstate this. He wanted it badly. But to your point with Rory, like if he had missed that and then lost in the next whole playoff, like, yes, it would be a brutal loss. But I think he shakes hands, and it's like, man, I give it my all. I'll learn.
A major in the last hole up before.
And I'll learn from it and all of that. I think McIlroy, and again, trying to analyze from afar, take what I'm saying here with a grain of salt. I will be the first to tell you, I raised my hand. I don't know if I know what I'm talking about, what it felt like, watching it, listening, seeing the reactions and everything. It feels to me like Rory was, I have to win this. Like it was, and I'm just telling you, that is a really hard way to perform in the clutch when you're telling yourself, you know, we watched this Inside Out movie last night, and the one thing in it, the girl, the main character is in the penalty box, and anxiety is like taking over, and she's like, stressing over everything, you know, friendships, I'm not good enough, I'm this, I'm that, and the pressure is getting to her. And it felt like McIlroy was, in order to make everything from the past year go away in the moment, like, I have to do this. And again, that's what it felt like. Maybe I'm off. Maybe McElroy just something goofy happened and he just pushed it. It felt like the pressure was really there. And I think his reaction afterward, it did him no favors.
No.
I'm not quite as.
We're not in
I've
his head.
seen
You're
some,
right. We're not in his head what was going through.
Yeah, and I'm not quite as critical. Like, I don't think it's a great look. I guess I'm a little more forgiving just because of, again, if you don't know, he recently went through a divorce.
They're back together.
He has, and
I'm with you, dude.
Yeah. Like, I feel like I think there's a lot going on there, and I think my guess is if he had it to do over again, now that maybe he's had a couple of days to look, I should have stayed and at least shook hands, answered a couple of questions, and then gotten out of there.
The guy with the PGA America did make a statement today, and I'm not going to say it's an excuse for him, but I can understand. He said there was a Netflix crew in the back room, and they were wanting all the footage of, his reaction to the missed putt, and he was just like, "Come on, you know what I mean? I'm back here. Give me some freaking privacy." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I would be like, okay, I'm not out there. I'm in my little safe space right here. But there was camera crews in that back room, and he was not happy about it. Like, he just wanted to be like, let me watch it, or I got to go to the green. Oh, and by the way, me and my little brother are a little mad at this, but do you know what the U.S. Open tiebreaker is? It's 18 on Monday. Because it happened in Oakmont with
that's right,
Colin Montgomery and Ernie Els back in '94. I remember it like it was yesterday because me and my little brother, dude, '94 all over again. And then who was the Italian guy that Tiger had to beat on the next day when Tiger had a blown out knee? You know who I'm talking about? When it was the last major before the big Masters a couple years ago. But that the overtime or tie breaker in the U.S. Open is 18 more. And I was like, we were sitting there talking like, when there's two guys on a pro who are professionals and they're not waiting for guys ahead to putt out or to drive or doing this, they go through that course in like 3 hours. Two guys, just bombers too. And we were like, come on. That would be great. But DeChambeau winning, it made our day a little bit because, again, how he treated that kid. And I just, it spoke volumes to me in my world. So loved it. I love the U.S. Open. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I love it. It's Father's Day. I don't have my father here, so I have my younger brother here. So it was cool to be around family in that situation.
Well, and I don't want to get carried away with this, but I do think part of that, Goon, is again, to me, it's telling me that DeChambeau was in the right frame of mind where he's like,
I'm in.
Again, he wants to win.
Yeah.
But he's like seeing some bigger picture stuff.
Not meant to be.
Right? Like you said, not many, if any, of those guys. And by the way, I mean, nobody's faulting them. It's like, you're in the heat of a competition. It's like, but similar things where I've seen, Penn State wrestlers on their way out to a match. It's like, oh yeah, here, a quick autograph. So it's certainly not painting anybody in a poor light if you don't do that. Obviously, you're focusing on your competition. Everybody understands that. That's fine. But the fact that he did see it, recognize it, and took the time to do it, again, to me, means he's not feeling it's not all about him.
The head wasn't down. I got to get to this. Got to get to the green. Got to get to the
there is something to that mentality. The whole famous Joe Montana thing where John Candy's in the huddle and he said, John Candy's here type thing. Like, I really do. I think there is something to that where, you've got to be dialed in on the moment. I mean, I'm not saying you could be in La La Land, but to have some awareness, to have some levity in those bigger moments. I think that is an underappreciated and underrated. I'm going to call it a skill that you have to be able to perform in those big moments.
I mean, I'm going to tell you, in 1994 with the Illinois game, then we're down 21-0 in the first quarter. None of us panicked. It wasn't like the world was over. There was definitely people flipping out on the sideline. I remember our wide receivers and our wide receiver coaches were yelling at our equipment managers because they didn't have the right spikes out there, and it was starting to rain, and they needed more spikes, but you have to get the first spike off to put the second spike on type of thing. And it was just like these guys are yelling at each other, and I finally just stood up, and I was like, everybody just shut up. We're fine. And the old man comes over, and I was like, everybody just needs to chill out. Like, relax. We got these guys. We got them. We're better than them. And then come the fourth quarter, there is a pretty well-known story of us we're 96 yards away from the winning touchdown, and we were in the huddle laughing. Like the Illinois student paper was like, they were laughing. See, let's send around with defense in the country right across from you, five yards away from you in their huddle, and we were laughing that we had to go 96 into a mist that was coming into our face.
Yeah.
And then we were just sitting there laughing at Bunny Rabbit. We were making fun of Archie because they let the punt go over his head. And we were running out like, dude, you could have caught that. We could have gone 80, but now we got to go 96. Thanks, Bunny Rabbit. And we're laughing. And like, some people just do that. It's just some people are just in that moment. And at that point, we were just so cocky because we knew that we were better than them. And it was like, it was over. We knew we were better shaped than them, stronger than them, and better than them at football. And we had the whole Dana Howard saying that if we get 28 points, we're not going to lose this game. And they had 31 points at that point. And when we scored that final touchdown, if you watch a play or two before, he's in the play middle linebacker. We ran a trap play. And both tackles, our rule was near inside linebacker, and there was only one. So you had King Kong Goon and King Kong Andre Johnson coming down and just walloping him, double ear hold him. Crazy how hard he had him, just drove him. He's like trying to get off. He's like 15 yards downfield. Yeah, I think that Millen tripped over him, so he got a tackle for it. But when we scored the touchdown, case in point, we were screaming, yelling at Dana Howard, where's your 28 now, yelling, laughing, and this and that. But I and Bucky Greeley and Jeff Hardings, and I don't know about Andre, we had enough awareness to say, okay, this extra point is freaking huge because it was 34-31.
Yeah.
And that extra point makes it a 4-point game to make them score a touchdown. So our O-line coach on Monday, he's like, you realize how important that extra point was? And Marco, like, no, we were just so happy we scored the touchdown, Craig. It was great. We were like, and we're all looking at him like, no, we knew exactly what we needed to do, Craig. None of us had that thinking at all. We were laughing and joking, but we all knew that extra point meant that much more. And Marco was like, oh, yeah, I knew that. We were fine. We were just celebrating. It was just like, but that was Marco. That Marco definitely had that, like me and Jeff could not watch enough professional football just to see our trade, just to see if we could learn anything. And I bet you maybe when we were young, maybe watched football 10 times with Marco, other than Penn State or college, but professional football. It wasn't his thing. He was a disassociate a little bit. Or me and Jeff, we just lived it, ate it, breathed it. Just like we always used to watch Mark Stepnoski with the Dallas Cowboys. And by the way, Larry Allen, God rest your soul, sir. That was the best football offensive lineman I've ever seen in my lifetime. Jeff and Bucky and my younger brother, they would all eventually be centers, but we would all talk about Mark Stepnoski from the Dallas Cowboys. And it was world renowned. He had to snap the ball with his right hand. And Stepnoski was 275 pounds. He's about 150 pounds now. Snap your ball with your right hand, and then you have a 350-pound mutant right above you who's going to go through you to get that at quarterback. You know how fast that offhand has to be? And Stepnoski would snap, and he'd have that left hand on that guy's chest so fast that he would stop them. He was strong enough to stop the man's penetration. It was crazy to think about, but watching it. But me and Jeff and Puppy and Bucky would marvel at this, watching this. But like we'd be like, Marco, watch this, and he'd be like, oh, I'm back here listening to the music here or something. So back to Larry Allen. So Jeff Hardings was the best offensive lineman I ever saw. I mean, he did stuff in college that I'd be like, dude, that's not supposed to happen. Like, wow, what you did to that guy is like, geez, man, because it was like, it's like he would do stuff on a daily basis that we would be like, once in our career, it would be like, oh my God, write letters home, mom and dad. Like, it was unbelievable what he could do. So I'm watching him in the NFL, and when people hit Jeff in college, Jeff they just bounce off of him. And, I saw John Holisek from Illinois, and I saw Zach Thomas from Texas Tech were the only two people I ever saw stop Jeff from just running right over them. So he probably had a stalemate with them. And I was like, oh, my God, they stopped Jeff. Like, that's amazing to think about. So as Marco and Jeff were in their NFL careers and mine was done, I was already coaching. Me and Jeff were talking one time, and we're just like, what's it like? And he goes, it ain't like college. He's like, it's not like, you're going against men. And I said, well, dude, what's this Larry Allen guy? I mean, like, it just seems that John Madden is always kissing this guy's butt and this and that. He looked at me and goes, no, that dude's a freak. That dude is not on the same level as any human being on this earth. He is the most unbelievably strong human being you've ever seen in your life. He hits. Like, when we talk about, like, a running back, like a Saquon or somebody, like, juking somebody in the NFL, that's huge because of how athletic guys are. And you're doing that to an NFL player. Yeah. Like, wow. And then you talk about a guy like Larry Allen who was going against a man, say, 240-pound linebacker, and just running them over like they were just a cone in a car. And you're just like, wow. Like, no one else does that. But Larry Allen was just such an unbelievable football player. I never saw anything like it. He was the best I've ever seen and seen since. I mean, just what he did. Wow. And it hasn't come out what happened to him. He just passed. They said 55 years old, 54. Oh, man, just horrible, sad, man. Very, very sad.
Yep, it is. He, no question, was just
unbelievable.
An absolute beast and just a different level than anybody else out there.
So Vernon Davis had a story last week because Vernon Davis is on a book tour because he wrote a book. Vernon Davis, the former tight end from Maryland who played for the 49ers and maybe somebody else. He's the guy Mike Singletary kicked off the field because he didn't like his attitude. And he was talking about, like, Larry, when he went to the 49ers, was like the locker room presence and, like, he ran the prison yard pretty much. That's how a locker room is run. It's run by the offensive line, and the biggest, baddest dude there run the locker room. So the Steelers are run by Cameron Hayward. So think of Larry Allen as Cam Hayward in that position. And he was yelling at people, MF-ing guys up and down. And Vernon was like, dude, I come from the streets where if you get called out, you got to defend yourself. You can't just take it. So he goes, the last thing I wanted to do was even go remotely close to Larry Allen. But I had to defend myself and defend my teammates and defend this and that. And he goes, at the end of practice, Larry walked up to him and said, what did you say to me, boy? And he goes, nothing. And he was like trying to get out of it, but he was like, but then he actually says what he said, and they start smacking each other around a little bit. But he says deep down, Larry would be on the side and be like, we cool. Like, I got you. Good job standing up and this and that. That's what I want out of you type of thing. But it was just how the locker room was run. But they both had to keep their presences in the locker room alive.
Yeah.
But Big Larry was just the interception tackle that he made. I believe it was versus the Saints, catching the linebacker from behind. Oh my God. Our commercial, I'll bring it up for you. It was just, I remember, and John Madden loved it. Oh, I can't believe what I just saw. But then you watch it and you're like, honest to God, I can't believe what I just saw. How him running like that and how big he was.
Yeah, there is something about big guys hustling and getting smaller guys from behind that is a a morale booster for the team that has the big guy.
And he was the biggest.
And yes, and it can deflate a team in a hurry if you're on the other side of that. We'll take a break here. When we come back, I do want to talk about this story with NC State and the potential here for I don't know how far back you could potentially go here with these lawsuits on name, image, and likeness. But anyways, we'll touch on that as we continue. It is our Tuesday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half-century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
The State College Spikes are back home June 18th and 19th. The Spikes take on the Williamsport Crosscutters, and you can enjoy the return of Walking Taco Tuesday. Get half-price walking tacos at the new salsa stand next to the Kids Zone. Then it's Glizzy and Wine Wednesday, presented by Seven Mountains Wine Cellars, with half-price country store brand hot dogs all game long and half-price wine from 5:30 to 7:30. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen O'Habaker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen O'Habaker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen O'Habaker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
And we welcome you back here on this Tuesday as we are underway with the all-you-can-eat wing buffet at Quaker Steak and Lube. Come on down and enjoy the great variety of wing sauces down here. It is a great opportunity. If you are a lover of wings, get yourself down here and enjoy. And if you're not a lover of wings, really probably time to reevaluate your life and where it went wrong.
For some grilled chicken is fine. They got pierogies here. They got some chips and salsa.
They got it all.
And they have tenders, too.
And wonderful, chicken tenders are phenomenal. You can come on down and watch all of the sports action on the TVs. Again, that traditional old neighborhood bar feel here. Just great service, great food, great beverages. And really good company. Come down and meet old friends or just make new ones here at Quaker Steak and Lube. And as always, we're appreciative to Jeff Powers and company for allowing us to be here on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons. And special thank you to Mr. Powers for filling in at the start of this afternoon show.
You got a face for radio.
Well.
He's perfect.
Not the first time.
I do have to say that we have had a real pouring out of people for our buddy Whitmer this weekend. So I know the second time I brought it up, but a lot of people have given a lot of stuff and a lot of time and a lot of money and donations towards this fundraiser this weekend. So all of our friends and family and people in town here have been outstanding.
Well, and great guy, great.
Like when they say then they say he's the first guy to help. He literally is always the first guy to help you out, anybody out when they need something. So,
and he's big wrestling fan, so he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Automatically,
he also likes women's softball, men's softball. I mean, he's a sports junkie. He is. So.
All right. Well, let's get to this story last week from the North Carolina State and the NCAA.
I agree with it.
Well, so this is the 1983 National Championship.
Jim
North Carolina
Valvano.
State, basketball team. One that knocked off Houston in the title game.
Not just Houston.
And
Slamma Jamma.
True enough. Winning the national title. They sued last week the NCAA and the Collegiate Licensing Company for unauthorized use of their name, image, and likeness regarding the game and the shot. 10 players filing in Wake County Superior Court and requesting a jury trial and, quote, reasonable compensation, unquote, according to ESPN. The suit contends that the value of student athletes to the NCAA does not end with their graduation, and that archival footage and other products constitute an ongoing income stream for the NCAA after its players have moved on from college. And so the NCAA, which has already, agreed to pay $2.8 billion to current and former student athletes from 2016 through 2020 to settle 3 antitrust cases that had been filed. But I think when we talked about that settlement, Goon, we pointed out, and we weren't the only ones. I mean, a lot of people pointed out that, listen, this settlement doesn't end things. Like, that ends those 3 specific suits. There's nothing here that says others can't come after the NCAA for, similar or even different reasons, but related to name, image, and likeness. And so here comes North Carolina State.
I could not agree with these guys more, to be honest with you.
And so the history of rulings here has been pretty much nonstop against the NCAA. So this is not, I think, promising in terms of if this thing were to go to trial, how it would turn out. It would seem unlikely to me that it'll go to trial, but the issue here for the NCAA, like, at some point, bankruptcy becomes a very real thing here for the NCAA, because if this goes to trial, I'm with you. I think they lose. If they settle it out of court, the issue is that is going to open up the floodgates. There are many teams since, I mean, if we're going to go back to just to 1983, and this is to say nothing of, again, how far back can you go here? But certainly there are teams and programs, like many teams and programs since 1983, where the NCAA has benefited with a recurring income by using, again, name, image, and likeness of those individuals. I have 2 instances for you.
Yeah. And the name, image, and likeness is what they're trying to say is that, and it is true. If you watch that ESPN 30 for 30, they say that 83 Wolfpack team Win and move on. That was the name of it.
Yep.
They pretty much created what we know as March Madness. I know that. That was I'm 10 years old then. That was my wheelhouse, bro. No doubt. They are the reason why the NCAA tournament, March Madness, was so big and stuff like that because of what that year had done. You look at that, 83 with the Lorenzo Charles taking an air ball and dunking it, and Jim Valvano running around the court not knowing who to hug and this and that.
Yep.
How many times did you see that when they showed the tournament?
Yeah,
1,000,000% of the time they showed anything to do with the tournament in the history of the tournament. They showed that. They may have showed fat Raleigh Massimino running around with Villanova in '85, and then the Leitner shot, and I believe was '92 type of thing, where you see those guys, you see those type of things about the tournament, and when they're advertising the tournament, March Madness coming, March Madness will be here sooner than later, the type of thing. So they were using those type of pictures, specifically those three. Now, with that said, I am pretty sure, and I don't know this for a fact, I know that when we signed our scholarship papers, I believe there was something on there from that you are Penn State University will own your name, image, and likeness type of that. They didn't use those words then, but they said, any pictures or anything like going forward is to be used by Penn State, and you release your. I think that was part of our scholarship. So I don't think that Penn State invented that wheel. I think that was part of it. So that would be really hard for these NC State guys to win if they have that document where those guys signed it. If there was, and I'm pretty sure that there was something where you do sign a waiver that your name, image, and likeness is Penn State's property and stuff like that. So in the same breath as I say that those guys deserve money because they have used that tournament, those 3 or 4 images for 40 plus years now.
Yeah,
they deserve something. But what they said is, even after post scholarship money, they're still using their name, image, and likeness. It just, on paper, that seems like a cut and dry case of, yes, they did exploit that team. They should be reimbursed type of thing. If the NCAA was making money off of it, proving that and winning it in court, of course they want a jury. They want a sympathetic jury out there for these guys type of thing in a court case. But do I think that they should have been gotten some money? Yeah, for sure. But at the time and in the time when I was here, it wasn't even available. So, it is what it is. You got to move on. It's, and, what in football, just imagine the Bo Nickel jumping on Cale Sanderson's shoulder. That was a renowned, great picture when they show NCAA tournament action. They're going to use that picture and that for a long time. Not anymore, right?
Well, no, I think we might be conflating a couple of things. So an image, a video image is, I don't think you can be compensated for that. I mean, if we're going to get to the point where it's like royalties are going to be given to athletes every time we show a highlight of them, I think that's where NC State
they have a chance. I mean, that's the only shot they have, in my opinion.
Boy, I mean, if that, I didn't think that's what this was. If that's the case, I mean, then all of professional sports are going to have to close up shop because I mean, you're not giving royalties for every time an image is shown in an event like that. That's not. But if
ESPN and the NCAA is advertising March or Matt Madness, is that what we call wrestling?
Yeah, NCAA wrestling.
NCAA wrestling.
Yeah.
If they're using that picture of Cale and Bo holding up bail as one of their shots, and then you remember this type of thing.
Yeah,
and they're using it to advertise people to buy tickets, people to watch it on television. That is you're using his name, image, and likeness in Bo Nickel's case, I'm saying. And I think that's where NC State, I mean, that's the way I read it. That's the way I saw it. Well, having to prove that would be physically horribly
have
impossible.
to go back and read through, because if that's the case, again,
I mean, how many times have you watched March Madness and they show the video of Valvano running around the court after the dunk, not knowing who to hug? I mean, they showed that thousands of times over the years. I mean, I can understand that they want royalties, because they really did make that tournament, and they used that tournament, that play, that scene over and over and over to promote more future tournaments. That's how I read it, but again, there's a lot of things me and you don't see eye to eye on.
Well, but I mean, just think that through, though. Then how much would the PGA owe Tiger Woods?
Well, PGA paid him already. They already paid him
for his. Well, not royalties. He's not getting royalties for the ball that's on the cusp. Like he's not getting royalties every time that's shown. Like, he's not getting paid for his name, image, and likeness. He got paid for winning the tournament.
You said that because
he didn't get paid
the Masters
because
owns
name, image,
that
and
right
likeness.
because it was in their tournament. So that's
CBS owns. I mean, the networks own the footage.
I know what you're saying. You're saying the Nike ball flying down because they show that every year.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I don't think that could possibly be what's at stake here, because it would just turn completely upside down. I mean, you wouldn't be able to market anything on TV. I don't think that's what this is about.
You got homework, Byers.
Yeah, I think this is about like the direct profiting of name, image, and likeness, not using an image to promote the event that you were involved in. Again, if it was really that what you're saying, again, then every time the Fiesta Bowl is shown, the '86 Fiesta Bowl, all of those players would have to. I mean, that's not what this is. I think this is about the. I'll have to read more about it. I think it is the like the direct profiting, selling a poster of that team, or selling the T-shirt, selling the merchandise.
Well, if they allowed that, those guys allowed that for 40 years to go on, and NC State was doing that, then those guys are way late on this.
Yes,
because they were professional athletes at that point after that tournament.
Correct. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about statute of limitations. That's the first thing that came into my mind is, listen, you're going back to 1983.
Yeah, but that's really the first time the tournament was ever really even pertinent. Michael Jordan hit that shot, 84.
Yeah.
I don't remember the tournament pre-83. I mean, UCLA had won 10 of them, but then the way that thing was set up was crap. I mean, East Coast had to destroy each other, then they played East versus West.
Yeah.
And it was UCLA was the only team in the West, so they were already granted a spot in the title game for 80% of the time.
Archival footage and other products constitute an ongoing income stream. I got to look a little more into this because, again, if it really is using archival footage that you need to pay individuals for using archival footage of them, again, then that's the end of highlights.
Yep.
That just isn't.
They show the game and that's it. They show no replays, no highlights.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
And that's probably why it's going to go away. But I think that's what those guys are getting at.
Yeah, I thought it was more. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a little more digging on exactly what their this suit constitutes and
see how it works for me.
Stake, because
who needs paid, Ironhead?
I don't know how you would get paid for what would be the quote unquote just compensation here for using a highlight. And yeah, I mean, then how much do you need to pay Christian Leitner? How much do you need to go back and pay Joe Montana, and I mean,
I want to sue Sports Illustrated for that cover I'm on.
I'm telling you.
There you go.
Yeah, I
was documented on that as fat guy with eyes closed. That's how they. Brian Millen hugs fat guy with eyes shut. Interesting, no, Jeffrey. Interesting.
Yeah.
If we had lawyers out there.
Oh, they're out there.
They're circling. Yeah, but it is a powerful thing if what I'm saying, and it's not winnable. It's not feasible. It's just, I don't know what they're trying to do,
no
whether they're putting something on the market or on the dockets type of thing. Yeah, there's no way to go back and say, well, in 1986, they used your image here when they made this song. I mean, and this, remember, there's always that, what's the song at the end they always play?
Yeah.
And they always show all
One
the, they usually, one shining moment. They usually show past tournaments and then they go to the current tournament type of thing. So people were getting paid. They were getting sponsorship monies, and they were using these guys' name, image, and likenesses even after they were done college. So for what it's worth, that's where I think it's at. I could be horribly wrong, which is probably 1,000,000% the case.
Well, again, there's no way you could go back and pay every individual for every every time their image
but that is a famous team that made
an upcoming event.
Like we'll just put it in the 1994 Penn State perspective. What did we really do? We really didn't make the Rose Bowl. We didn't make the Big Ten. We didn't make this or that. NC State, that tournament, that team made
the Fiesta Bowl.
You're right. You are right. The 86 team, and then they the ones who changed football that night.
Yeah.
With the massive sponsorships and yeah, you're right.
But ultimately, to those promotions, are they helping the NCAA? Are they helping the networks? Are they helping all of the member schools? Or I don't even know how you'd go about trying to divvy up the. Yeah.
Yep.
That does not. Does not make much sense.
I
to me.
don't
now,
know how.
If you're selling the image, like if the NCAA, and I don't know that they did this, but if they made a poster, and the NCAA or the school is selling that for $10 and it has their images on it, and they're not getting anything for that, that's one thing. But you're not. While there's no doubt that is an iconic moment and it is used and the image helps promote the tournament, I don't know that you can make any argument that there's a direct correlation revenue stream wise to the NCAA. Like if you took that highlight out and you left all of the other highlights in, are people not going to tune into the NCAA tournament? Like, is anybody, oh man, I didn't see the 83 team. Forget it. I'm not. I think that's a really tough argument to make. Again, it was a big moment. It's why it's in there, but been a lot of big moments that have been replayed over and over the years. And again, the networks have the rights to use those images and to share those images. So.
The rules are different now, man. Well, it's like nowadays you can't judge people on 50 years ago on today's standards.
Yeah.
It's physically impossible to do type of stuff. So
the NFL or NCAA have legally made their money. This is from Ed. NFL and NCAA have legally made their money from the footage. The players are just saying, where's my cut? NFL players release their NIL in their contracts, or it's in the CBA.
And that's what Ed's saying right there is pretty much what I had signed during my scholarship, is that I released my NIL rights to my name, image, and likeness to Penn State University, and then who would then go to the NCAA with them in the Big Ten conference type of thing.
Yeah.
That's just how. I'm pretty sure because me and my brother talked about it at the time. I actually had two of my brothers this weekend because my brother was the Holy Ghost Prep AD, so we had a conversation. But he played at LaSalle University. He played in 3 NCAA tournaments, so he got there in 87. 86 was his first basketball season there at LaSalle. So, pretty unbelievable, though. I mean, we're talking about it, but he had said he doesn't remember if they had signed anything. And my brother Kevin, he wasn't on scholarship till his junior year. And he goes, I'm pretty sure that we did have to sign something. Part of our scholarship was releasing our name. But Ed's right with the CBA, but they are paid for the CBA. They already get money from the collective bargaining from the teams and from that type of thing, where these guys were getting zero. They were always going to get zero. But that was the deal we made.
Well, and the scholarship, I would argue on the zero part because
Jeff,
the scholarship, the clothing, the food.
I know we only have 2 minutes here, but I want to say it. When this collective bargaining for college football comes out, I am more than convinced that $55,000 for an out-of-state student should come out of that pay to pay for your scholarship. I'm sorry. You can't have it all.
Yeah. Well, I think at least some of these guys think you can, and I'm not sure at the end of the day.
Worse, man.
Yeah, it's just such a different way to think about things. But again, that money that was collected, and I understand the argument, and I think the NCAA should have gotten ahead of this way back in the 80s, and provided the stipend that Joe Paterno and others had talked about.
Begged for it.
And I think this would have prevented a lot of this. Now, maybe at some point, this stuff still comes into play, but I think by getting ahead of it and, hey, we are sharing, we are doing some more proactive things, they would have kept a lot more people satisfied for a lot longer. That, we're okay with just, and I use just in air quotes here, but just scholarship. And again, I get the players weren't getting money, and Joe Paterno made the point often that, hey, some of my guys can't buy a pizza on a Friday night. That seems wrong, and that does seem wrong. At the same time, there were students on campus who were in the same boat and weren't getting clothes that the football team got, weren't getting the training table meals that the football team got, weren't getting their scholarships, weren't getting their books taken care of, weren't getting their housing taken care of. So I understand and agree that the players over the years have not been treated fairly.
But we couldn't get jobs, just to say that.
I understand that.
Okay.
And there were in our students, like if you're, a member of the band, you're not getting your scholarships taken care of. If you're a member of the Penn State dance team, you're not on scholarship, so you've got a lot of hours that you're devoted. I understand what you're saying, that you were prevented from getting a job, but they don't have time to get a job.
Oh, I know.
If they're doing that.
I think what Joe said was give them a wage.
They're not they're not able to get a job, and they're still having to pay for their tuition, their books, all of their food. So again, there was a happy medium to be found, and the NCAA just never bother to try to find it, and that is
you were as a football player or as an athlete, you were getting 30 or 40 hours of work week, and it's like, oh, you're not allowed to have a job. Well, how the hell can we even have a job? And that was the problem, is that guys were getting no-show jobs back in the day and getting big money, so the NCAA had to come in and say, okay, we can't do that. No, nobody can have jobs.
Right.
So people abused the system, and it came back to bite them all. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But they're definitely, the old man, give them $10 an hour. You're there $400 a week. I'd have done some bad things.
Yeah, just a stipend, $100 a week or something.
I know we're going off the air, but I had issues myself with the Pell Grant system. Now, I 1,000,000% understand the Pell Grant system. I get it. Guys, they needed money and this and that, living money type of thing. Now, I was not getting the amount of money that these guys were getting from my mom and dad. I mean, I wasn't getting 5% of what these. If the guys were getting $5,000 a semester or a year, I always felt that, man, that's like, wow. That's like, my dad gave me $100 a semester and said, make it last. And it lasted like a week. You know what I mean? It's just like, it always felt unfair to me.
And it was. I mean, I don't think it's any.
That's why
Again,
it's
when you
gone.
look at the revenue that was being produced, right, versus, and again, it wasn't nothing. The scholarship was something. There were other amenities that came with being a football
And then
player
the
or a
apartments were
student
nice.
athlete. All of that. But again, you were talking about millions and millions, even back then, that were coming in. And there's no question the players were not getting their fair share of it. And that, again, should have been rectified back then. There were people calling for it back then. And the NCAA, it was a long time coming, but
Pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered.
They're having to pay their due. We'll be back Thursday, folks. Until then, be good and be safe.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
The State College Spikes are back home June 18th and 19th. The Spikes take on the Williamsport Crosscutters, and you can enjoy the return of Walking Taco Tuesday. Get half-price walking tacos at the new salsa stand next to the Kids Zone. Then it's Glizzy and Wine Wednesday, presented by Seven Mountains Wine Cellars, with half-price country store brand hot dogs all game long and half-price wine from 5:30 to 7:30. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen Baker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen Baker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen Baker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit